Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is ChromaCutie, and today I'm going to be going over everything you need to know for Snowflakes and Snowfolks. There is a lot to cover, so let's go. Okay, so the first thing you need to do with this event is shoot down balloons. The balloons are where all of your DIYs are. But in order to craft your DIYs, you need to first start catching these snowflakes. You can see them floating in the air. They're very similar in mechanics to the cherry blossom petals as well as the maple leaves that we just had in the fall. So don't miss because it'll break. Boom. All right, there we go. Just like that, you've caught a small snowflake. We'll get to large snowflakes later. Alright, so here's the first basics that you need to know about the snowflake event. The event runs for the entire duration of winter, which in the northern hemisphere is December 11th until February 24th, and in the southern hemisphere it is June 11th until August 24th. In order to obtain the snowflake DIYs, you do need to shoot them down from balloons, so you'll want to be on the lookout for those balloons. Now, for the northern hemisphere, you want to be wary that you only have 4 days from the beginning of this event to exclusively be able to shoot down these balloons. You can still continue to shoot for them, but there is another event that begins on December 15th, and that also has items available in balloons, so you'll begin to get a combination of those. So if you want to focus on making sure you get all of the snowflake DIYs, I recommend doing so before the end of December 14th. There are 8 items in total, and these items are primarily flooring and wallpapering for your home, but there are a couple of items that you can use elsewhere as well. I will simply just show you those items from inside my home so that you can take a look at all of those. I won't be displaying them outdoors like I typically do, but the Frozen series is an entirely different story. Okay, so what you're seeing here is the Iceberg Wall and the Iceberg flooring. These both require 10 snowflakes apiece to craft. The flooring does have that nice crunchy snow texture sound, as well as the water sound through the darker blue areas. And as you can also see, might be hard to pick up on the camera there, it's easy to spot kind of right here. In the dark blue area here, you can see the water is kind of rippling there. I think that's meant to replicate the water that would be moving beneath the ice. The wallpaper itself is not at all animated. There's no falling snow in the background or anything like that, but it is overall a very nice set. Then of course we have the ski slope flooring and the ski slope wall. That's kind of tricky to say. And again, the flooring has that nice crunchy snow sound, but this time the wallpaper is animated just with the falling snow that is happening. There's no animation in the humans that are present on the wallpaper, although we now have confirmation that we're not the only humans. And the floor itself has some tracks on it, I assume from skis or sleds of some kind. Then we have the snowflake wall, which I actually really love. It's definitely my aesthetic, my colors. These are my go-to colors. I really like it. It's not animated or anything, but it's a fun wallpaper. And finally, we have the falling snow wall, which again has the animated snow coming through the windows. I really love the look of this one. I think we're going to start to see this in a lot of people's interior design rooms coming up. I really do love this one a lot. The two items that you see here are the Snowflake pochette, which is the little over-the-shoulder bag that you can wear, and the snowflake wreath on the back wall here, which is just a giant snowflake that you can hang on the wall or hang on your front door. You can also gift it to your villagers and they will put it on their front doors, and that looks super cute for the winter season. And that concludes all of these snowflake items. So next I will go through all of the ice or frozen series and what you need to do to get those as well. To complete the frozen series, you need to first craft the Perfect Snowboy, also known as Snowfolk. These are the snowmen that you can craft on your island throughout winter. You have the entire duration of winter to complete this event, and you can feel free to continue to work on this event while also working on the ornament event once that one begins, as the only way to obtain the recipes for this series is to get them directly from a Perfect Snowboy. So we're going to attempt to create a Perfect Snowboy live for you right now. What you need are 2 snowballs. You can see them in the background behind me here. It just happened to work out that they are very close to each other right now. They will always be within proximity of each other. They shouldn't be too far apart from one another, so once you find one, you shouldn't have to stray too far to find the second, unless of course you have very few areas on your island where you could potentially roll a snowball. You're going to want to create some space for this if you'd like to eventually have all of these DIYs. You'll have to have a few areas on your island where these snowballs can spawn. If you would like to put all your snowboys in one area, you can also transport your snowballs to a different area of your island if you wish. But to craft the Perfect Snowboy, you will first want to kick the snowball. You cannot push it until it has become of a certain size. I have discovered that exactly 13 kicks will get this snowball to be pushable. Trying to stay within frame here. Now we can push it. Okay, so once it's gotten to a certain size, you just want to continue to push it around until it gets larger and larger and larger. For the base of the Snowboy, honestly, just make it as large as you can. At some point they will stop getting larger. They can only get to be so big. It's about the same height as your villager, so like this still needs to be bigger. Alright, so that is about as big as you can get the first snowball. So that is approximately how large you want it to be, to roughly the height of your villagers' eyes, I guess, the top of their eyeballs. And now I want to perhaps kick this into frame. Oh, or out of frame. So like I said, I believe it takes about 13 kicks before you can begin to push it, at which point you can then begin to roll it. If your snowball becomes too big, you can roll it over some paved area, like stone path or terracotta. And you want this ball to be obviously smaller. You don't want it to be too much smaller. So roughly, that's probably about the size difference you want between them. You want it to be close enough because you need to be able to pop this right on top of the snowball. So what you're going to do is you're going to push this smaller snowball towards the larger one, and you'll see it pop up like that. And if you did it correctly, excellent. Your Perfect Snowboy is here. He'll tell you in his dialogue that it was perfect, if it was perfect, and if it was not, he'll tell you roughly where you went wrong. And then once you get through his dialogue, he'll typically give you a large snowflake as well as a DIY. Once you have completed all the DIYs, he then gives you a special item for you. So you have to keep an eye out on the mail. There are also Nook Mile achievements for the Nook Miles Plus to build a Snowfolk. So you can earn Nook Miles for this as well. If you're lucky, you can even catch dung beetles trying to push these snowballs around when they are not built yet. Next, I will show you what the snowmen look like in their stages of melting. Okay, so once you've constructed the Perfect Snowboy, they'll last for 4 days. All snowmen will last for 4 days, but the perfect ones will continue to give you large snowflakes every day until they're fully melted. These are what the Snowboys look like after each consecutive day. So this one here on the very end, this boy here has only been here for 2 days, so I built him yesterday. This is the second day of his snow life. Then we've got the third day, so he's a bit more melted, and the fourth and final day of his time on my island. After the fourth day, he'll just be completely gone. So you can only ever have up to 4 snowboys, 3 of which have already begun melting or have almost entirely melted. There are 15 items in this set, so it can take some time to build 15 perfect snowboys, as it takes a little bit of trial and error when figuring it out for yourself. But I will say, if you build the bottom snowball to as large as you can, at least you've got the bottom half correct. It's getting the proportion of his head correct that can be the struggle. So next we'll move to a different area of my island where I will show you all of the items that are included in the Frozen series. Welcome to my ice art exhibit. We're going to show you all of the items in the Frozen series. So this item right in front of me here is the Frozen pillar. Then we have the Frozen partition, and back here we have the Frozen arch. These 3 items in particular, I believe, are going to be super popular in all of your ice builds. So this is the Frozen tree, and this is the Frozen sculpture, which is a bear. He looks pretty cool. Chilly, in fact. Then we have the Frozen counter, which I think these are drinks or candles, I'm not sure. And then there's the Frozen bed, which has a nice plush velour looking blanket and pillows. Then we have the Frozen table and the Frozen chair. In front of us here we have some of the smaller items. This is the Frozen treat set, which I'm super excited to use in the summertime when everybody needs a frozen treat. We have the ice wand, which is a snowflake. Then we have the snow person head, which is a hat that you can wear as a villager and dress as a snowman. Then my favorite item from the series is the 3-tiered snow person. I'm very excited to use this in my center court. And that is the Frozen series, with the exception of the ice wall and the ice flooring. So I'm going to head back to my home and show you those 2 items there. Okay, so the iced wall and the iced flooring are very bright. They have this really nice arched overlay, and there is a snowflake design on the floor here. It's very, very bright in this room. I'm super impressed with the detail. I think a maybe Elsa themed room might be overdue in order. But I think there's a lot of possibility for what you could do with these, and I'm excited to see what you guys are going to do with all of this furniture, the frozen stuff, the snowflake stuff. I'm excited to see what you guys are going to do with it. If you'd like to send me your screenshots, I would absolutely love that. Please. Alright, I want to thank you for coming to check out my channel and watch my video. If you enjoyed this video, please click the like button, and if you'd like to see more, please hit that subscribe. I will be coming up with a ornament guide for you in the coming few days, so keep an eye out for that. As we have a balloon looming, I will bid you adieu, but I hope that you guys have a great day, and if you have any questions, or if you would like to see me cover any particular topics for you, please don't hesitate to mention in the comments, as I am relatively new to YouTube, so any feedback helps me. Alright, thanks guys, and happy snowflake hunting.